Ladies and gentlemen, the Madness Entertainment Group presents Put the Comic Artist Hour with Les Garner.
We back.
As usual, StreamYard way down on me right in the middle of the intro. I don't know what it is. What it is about StreamYard intros. But hi, everyone.
So, yeah, I am sitting here right now doodling on a piece of Eva for Brides 2 coming up. So, that's a thing. Which we shall be going live with that, launching that here. Probably, I'm going to say, whatever the dates are for Heroes Con, I think we're going to be launching it at or shortly after Heroes Con in North Carolina. So,
I have not even checked the date on that.
yeah.
Because, the only thing I've been concerned about con-wise is this one I'm about to do.
Yeah.
I haven't really had time to focus on anything else. Yeah, you do.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm painfully close to bailing out of most conventions. I just I'm busy. I've got so much work to do that I'm just like,
Yeah, got some other people gonna be hitting you up.
Well, my whole reason for doing conventions has always been to try and scout out more work.
Right.
And
you don't have to scout it out anymore, huh? It's in your.
No, I really don't have to scout it out anymore. I'm actually at a point where I'm like, okay, folks, I can't take on anything new for a while.
I know JD and Levi were talking about a double-page spread that they had wanting you to do for them for Galaxy Memorial Park.
No, I mean something like that, like a one-off page or
yeah. They ain't asking you to do their book, but I'm pretty sure
something like that I can probably fit in somewhere, but like, there ain't any new books coming on deck for a hot minute. I am sorely booked up right now.
Yeah, I know you are.
Yeah.
And you're going to get all this stuff done, and you're every time one thing goes, another thing is going to pop right up in that spot. You know that now.
Oh, yeah.
You're pretty much scheduled.
Yeah. I mean, I'm at a point where everything has to get scheduled because it just can't. I'm like, I'm going to start having stuff fall through the cracks if I don't, really handle it that way.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people that want that. Look, somebody was telling me the other day, is like, I need somebody to do this certain, like style, and it was like, and he's like, and I got this person in mind, and I'm like, you mean less? And I was right.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about, man. People know, your work is like starting to gain a little cult following.
So weird.
No,
that's
that's
a very
so cool.
weird feeling.
If I was an artist, I'd want to be somebody that people could stand out. It's like if they're going to talk about my art, I want them comparing it to somebody like Wrightson.
I mean, that, like,
you see, it's
cool, but it's weird. It feels weird.
Let it feel weird. That's your imposter syndrome. But you know what? That don't matter because it's what the fans like.
It's I guess it's wild because it's like I've been in and around the stuff for so long.
What's up, Tassos?
To finally be getting a little bit of notice is just it's a very strange feeling,
I'm gonna keep pushing you in front of people as much as I can because look, when I first started doing this, it was the same time that RJ started Critical Blast, right?
Yeah.
And I have done everything I could to make sure that RJ got out of that little one-room apartment he was working out of.
Mm.
Now he's got a warehouse. I'm not saying this is all because of me, but I promoted the hell out of what he was doing, and I sent him a lot of people,
Mm.
To publish.
Oh, that's cool.
I sent him a lot of people, man, and I promote anytime I see somebody asking about publishing or fulfillment or any of that. Boom, at Critical Blast, I'm popping that shit on them every time, right? Every time I see it, and hey, look at now he's like totally like 10 steps above where he was, and so are we. You know what I mean? It's like,
oh yeah.
So are we. We've tracked, pretty solidly next to each other this whole time and grown and grown and grown. He went from just fulfillment to, publishing and all kinds of stuff now, right? I mean, it's cool. I love watching people progress. And with you, it's like I met you and it's like, man, people need to know about you, bro. You got to do a show. And I'm not saying that the show has brought you a million new bands or anything, but I know it's brought you some work and some people that, come to me and go, who is that dude? You know what I mean? And it's like, that's the dude.
That's funny, man.
That's not a dude. That's the dude. That is one of the best in our whole network. And I'm not afraid to say that. And I love all our other artists, style, right? I just happen to be a Wrightson fan, and you track.
Yeah, right. Bernie is my jam for sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
Tasso's in the chat saying Les is a great artist.
Tassos is no slouch himself. I need to schedule him on here on the show sometime, so we can sketch so we jam together for a little bit.
He pops in the chat all the time, so we know he's free at this hour.
Well, yeah, he's. Hey, Tassos, pop in the chat and tell us what time it is where you're at, because I have no idea what the time differential is.
It's kind of 8 o'clock or something. If he's like in Greece, 8 or 9 o'clock there.
Yeah, he's in Greece.
Yeah. I know the Netherlands is like 7 hours difference, and the UK is 5. Hard to keep track of all that shit.
Oh, it really is.
It's 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock.
Mm.
So 7 hours. He's the same as the Netherlands. Okay, 7 hours different.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize on Sundays when Dave Brink's out here doing his show at 2 in the afternoon, it's 9 o'clock there.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm very curious about the European comic book market too, and I think Tassos is a good guy to talk to about that, because I know there's a big difference between the American market and the European market.
Yeah.
And while I got my issues with all kinds of stuff with Europe, that's for sure. I am very familiar with the French, specifically the French end of comics, what they call bande dessinée. I know that France, Spain, and Italy all.
I love Italian comics.
Yeah, they all have like a really different take on it than the Americans do. And like I had somebody the other day looking at some of my stuff, and he's like, "Man, you remind me of these Italian folks." And it was just like, huh. And the Italians I'd never paid attention to in comics, and then somebody said, "Yeah, you remind me of this Italian artist." I can't even remember now who it was, but I remember I went and looked it up, and I was like, "Holy crap, I do!" It's like I'm like, hey, are we bros? I think we might be bros. So yeah, it's just funny. I mean, well, I think some of it comes from the Europeans, just for obvious reasons. Probably going to have a lot more classic art influence. Um, and then all the great places to study art have all been European. I mean, that's the Western tradition of art is it's European. I mean, the American tradition grows out of it. That's just who we are. So that there would be kind of a presence and a difference over there kind of goes without saying. I mean, it just makes sense. And I don't think they're quite as I don't think they break up their media quite as much into the kind of categories that American media has broken up into for a long time. What I mean by that is like in America, even though comics are, I see them as the American art form, they've been relegated to children's stuff. They've been treated for so long as children's media, which there's nothing wrong with children's media. I've got children's books I want to do and have done stuff in that space, but to relegate an entire I consider like hybrid art and literary genre to that's for children. Well, boy howdy, is that garbage.
Yeah.
So I don't think they do the same thing with that in Europe. So not everything about Europe is terrible, just lots of things.
The government, right?
Well, I'm trying to veer away from getting into political discussions, but their governments and all that kind of stuff are. I mean, government everywhere, in my opinion, is trash. Anybody who knows me knows I think that.
Well, so, I mean, I look at it like this: we came over here, did our own thing. They stayed there and pretty much stayed in there the way they all were.
Yeah.
Right? And that's why we separated ourselves from them.
Stayed in the European lane. Yeah, there's a whole lot of you not, me not.
And that, that's why we separated ourselves from them. I just accept that is history for a reason.
Yep.
I mean, good to go. That's all. I'm just pro America.
Yep. Yep.
But I do like some Italian comics. I used to have a co-host that lived in Italy. Right?
One of my all-time favorite artists is
lived in England and did Italian comics. That's what.
The artist Esteban Maroto. I talk about him all the time. He came onto my radar when I was a kid, and I stumbled into a big trove of old Vampirella comics alongside a bunch of other stuff that my stepbrother had, and just the look of that stuff was like, oh, this is different. So, and there was a lot of that adopted into some of my favorite American comics. I mean, Esteban Maroto, I think a lot of his stuff, there's a lot of his stuff that eventually got republished here in the States. A lot of it got published the first time here in the States by Warren. And then there's I just glanced across the room and I've got my copy of Tomb of Dracula #1 hanging up. And, that's very much in that same sort of vein. So, I mean, that stuff is just, that's catnip to me, man.
That's a good one. Yeah,
it's funny too, man. I don't really, I don't really buy that many comics anymore just because I'm so busy making them.
Right.
But and I'll tell you what, I didn't actually buy that Tomb of Dracula #1 either, um, uh, because I was doing a show and I had some paintings up for sale, and a collector came by and we made a trade on one of my paintings for his Tomb of Dracula #1.
That's a good idea.
It was like, sir, I will make this trade all day.
You know what's funny? On Sunday, my grandson could possibly be the youngest person to sign books at All Heroes Comic Con.
That's cool, man.
I mean, I'm going to ask Alan, what's the youngest person that's ever been in here signing books during the con? And because I think Isaac, I mean, he's 13, dude. And he's going to be signing the Ozzy book with the Les Garner cover. Look, it's the limited edition, the con edition only. You'll only be able to get this book at the con table where somebody from the Madness is selling it. You know?
That's cool.
I mean, it could be Les, it could be Jane Morris, it could be any of the people who have art in the book. They can go order theirs. They can order them in bulk at a really, really good price and then go sell them at their con table and make money. You know, but only at the con table. That's it. This is the con edition, and it is a beautiful freaking book, man. Yeah. Dasso says Storm by Don Lawrence is a cool comic book series.
What is this?
Storm by Don Lawrence. I don't know that I'm familiar with that.
First yacht of the
day. Right on time.
Yep, right on time. I'm gonna block out some shadow areas. Really think about that. So I always like those big dramatic shadows. And I've been veering off lately of doing like I used to do. I still do a lot of heavy shadows where I would like fill the area with black. But I've been starting to tinker lately with, again, more of the Bernie Wrightson sort of thing, you know, of exploring that influence. I've been starting to tinker lately with more rendering. Because for a while I had people who I worked with and different clients and stuff who were like, oh, that's too much rendering. That's too many lines. That's too much, you know, whatever. And so I dialed it back and went for started teaching myself to do a little simpler, a little more modern. And that satisfied clients. But it didn't satisfy me.
Right.
And since brides and a lot of the stuff that I do these days, you know, I'm my own client. I'm like, I need to satisfy that client, and that client is me.
And is it easy to satisfy that client?
No, it is not. It is really not. I can tell you right now, pages that I do for people, for other people, and I could turn out in just a couple hours' time. Or I do lots of pages for other folks, and we'll turn them out super fast, and they're very happy with it. Then when I sit down with my own script and I start working on my pages, it's started coming to a grinding halt because I'm like, no, this is mine. This is where I could push the envelope. This is where I get to flex the muscles and show new things. And it's where I play. It's where I play and explore. And so I end up eating a lot more time doing my own stuff.
Right.
And, it ends up, so I end up experimenting and coming up with things and finding things that I like. and then bringing those back to the clients at that point. And hopefully by the time I bring that stuff back to the client, I've kind of experimented with it enough that that I've got it down to a science. And that's an important thing that I've talked a little bit about before. Is it's there's the artsy side of this stuff where you're going through the art, you're doing the work, and you're exploring and you're playing with shadows, you're experimenting and doing this kind of stuff. And then there's the production side of it. And production is like, yeah, I need to draw this. I need to draw this right now. I need to get this page done. This. Here it is done. And next, boom. And you just crank. And I've been a production guy for so long that it really feels weird to now be in a position where, even though I'm still very much a production guy, I have opportunities now to not be, to really explore the art more, which is part of what I think has really made my work get so much better in the last couple of years. But it's funny because it's just so important to do that, and it's something that I really haven't had that many chances to do in this kind of a way through the years. So I'm real happy with that, but it does cause me to slow down, which I don't like. I don't like slowing down on things, and I don't like, I have this mental schedule of 4 pages a day. And it's like, if I don't pencil and ink 4 pages a day, I don't feel like I'm accomplishing what I should accomplish. So I have to retrain myself into validating that time for exploration. And it seems to be paying off. I like the work that's coming out of it, both the work I'm producing and the work it seems to be causing me to get. So that's good.
Yeah. I just know that, everybody I know. What's up, Matt? Matt from one of the guys who runs Build is in the chat over there. How you doing? Good morning.
Cool.
Good afternoon, I guess it is. It could be morning over there on the West Coast, but yeah. For me, it feels like morning because all I do is get up and start working, and then I realize, oh crap, it's time for a show, and I don't. You know what I mean? It's like there isn't a lot of looking at the clock in the morning for me. I'm just trying to get yesterday's shit done or whatever. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because everything I do today, other than scheduled shows, is still based on what happened yesterday. I got shorts to make. I got, download the show out of StreamYard, upload it to Roku. A whole bunch of stuff from yesterday happens today. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Nice to see you, Matt. It really is. Thanks for popping in. So, tell everybody what exactly you are drawing now for the people who popped in since you started.
For folks who are just now coming aboard, this is, let me bring it back up here on screen so you can see it a little clearer. This is Eva from my book Brides. And I'm just kind of cutting loose on a quick sketch of her here, but it will more than likely end up becoming something.
They always do.
Yeah, they usually do. So there was a piece, I think it was what I was working on. Last week I was working on a piece of Eva, wasn't I?
Yeah, I think so. Man, I don't know. You got to remember, I had 30 weekly shows. Yeah, that one was good.
Yep. So Yeah, the one I was working on last week after I got the drawing done that I was doing on the stream, this is what I usually do is I'll draw digital because it's more forgiving for getting your drawing done and it's just easier for me. And last week I ran that drawing off on illustration board and then just allowed myself to go nuts with a painting from it. And it was a Frazetta homage. I think I was bouncing back and forth last week between it and the original.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But yeah, I just cut loose with it. There you can see the end result. I'll kill the trade dress stuff.
It is beautiful. He sends it to me. He teases me with these drawings, and then he sends it to me later, all decked out.
Yeah, a lot of times I'll be on a stream doing a doodle, and then it'll strike me what I want to really do with it later, and then I'll just finish it up. And I'll shoot a copy over to Pops and be like, "Hey man, check this out. Remember this?"
Yeah, and no, it's not. Remember this? It's like a few hours after the show.
It seems like days to me.
That's what's funny. It's like we do the show, and then later on in the evening, I get the finished product.
Yeah, I think that one I got about 6 hours in, maybe 8.
It's beautiful, though. It's beautiful. He sends it to me, and I'm just like, man, this is why everybody wants you to do stuff for them. You know,
that's that whole thing of mine, though. It's like get it done, get it out, get it done, get it out, get it out the door. Because if it takes you forever to do it, you're not going to pay your bills with it.
No. And I think a lot of people, strive for the perfection that adds hours.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, but don't let the, I've had this phrase in my head for a very long time: is don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good.
Right, and it's like time is not your friend if you're doing this for money.
No.
Right? Okay, time's not your friend if you're doing this for money. You got to be fast with a style, or good and fast. You can't like fast is kind of important. Unless you're doing your own thing, at your own pace, don't care, then that's cool. Do that, right? But if you're like what Les is trying to do is, he's got books that he's working on that have to be out, have to be ready, have to be gone, right? Pages have to be done. That's work, and you got to be quick. You got to be quick, man, or you can't.
Yeah, it ain't gonna wait for you. It certainly ain't gonna wait for you. That's one of the reasons I'm like seriously thinking about cutting back on all my convention appearances for a while, because I've got a few scheduled for the remainder of this year, and I don't know. I'm very, very possibly gonna end up dropping some of them, just because, you figure if I go to another town, wherever it is I'm driving, at least 3 hours, usually about five or more to get pretty much anywhere.
Right.
So that means I've got to drive. If I leave out, if I do shows in Knoxville, which I do a lot of shows in Knoxville, I will leave out of here at 3:00 in the morning and drive 5 hours, get there around 9:00 their time. There's an hour time change. Get there around 9:00, set everything up. Usually shows start around 10. Then show's going to run for 6 to 8 hours. So you figure you take an 8-hour day at a show plus 5 hours driving, plus whatever's going to happen at the end of that day, which is usually like dinner with somebody or meetings or God only knows what. That's going to be another 2 or 3 hours. By the time it's done, when the first day of a show for me is going to be a 16-hour day.
Right.
And that just bites. Like, there is no part of that I'm enjoying at all anymore. So, and then if it's a 2-day show, then the second day of the show is the same thing in reverse. It's get up early, meet with whoever you're going to meet with that morning, then get into the show, do the show all day. Then, exact opposite, break down, load into the car, do all that, and then drive 5 hours back. It's one of the reasons why I stopped the music thing a long time ago, because I hated that part of it. So
travel is not the. Well, I mean, look, you get to the point where you don't need to, right? Where you're working. You get to the point where you don't need to, right? At the same time, sometimes you meet the right person at the right time, and kind of got to do that in person. You know that. I mean, it's part of it. It's just a part of it that, boy, am I getting tired of. I mean, for me, I'm about to be 63 years old, right?
Wow.
I'm about to go do this for the first time for real.
See, I've been doing conventions. I was away from the convention circuit for a long time, probably 20 years at least.
And it changed a whole bunch while you were gone, didn't it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm still, like, my brain still wants to think it's 1995. And, like, my whole attitude on comics is, like, there's still stuff from 1998 that's new to me.
Chris is asking, do you have any work? I think the answer to that is you don't really farm anything out, do you?
Actually, I am now, because I'm basically, although I'm not credited as it in the book just yet, I'm basically the managing editor on Gasp.
Okay.
So, like, I'm fielding stories from people, scripts from writers, and looking at artists and pairing people up so that I don't have to do every issue of Gasp.
Okay.
So, like, there's a new guy who I'm going to be bringing into things, who's a Filipino artist who Omi, our colorist Omi Remolante, turned me on to. And this dude is really good, really like his stuff. And then we've got another gentleman, guy from Knoxville named Alex, whose last name escapes me right now because I'm a nard with that crap. But like, I've been approving, I sign off the approvals on all the pages and stuff that come in from these artists, which is a weird thing. Like, I've been an art director in many different types of companies and many different media and animation companies, but I've never really been an art director in comics. And now I'm, like, kind of doing that, sort of. I mean, I think it'll probably become a more formalized role at some point. And it's weird. It's very weird. 3 years ago, I was a guy who was out. 4 years ago, I was always out dogging it for work, which I still am, because that's how you do. That's how it is. But now I'm, like, in a position where I'm starting to be the guy who gives people work. So that's actually a thing now. So all that said, don't bombard me, people.
Okay, so
I will treat it exactly the way that editors treated me for decades. It'll be like, don't be surprised if you don't hear back from me, because damn, I'm busy.
Okay, this would be my next question then. Do you have something set up for submissions, a separate email address people can hit you at, so that that's where that stuff is?
Yeah, I do have emails and stuff set up, and right now I don't do general submissions from folks anyway because
Okay.
you
That's
know
what.
I we have between myself and Rick at Resolute Bliss, we have a really strong uh, list of artists and writers to go to, and there's some interesting folks who have verbally agreed to some things, and let's just say the next year of Gasp magazine is going to be pretty nifty.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm excited for that thing. It's a fun project doing that. I never really thought that was. I never gave any consideration to doing an anthology, either being a part of one or uh, managing one. But it's actually a lot of fun. I'm enjoying it and enjoying what we do with it and the people that we bring in, and it's cool for me to be in a position to start offering opportunities to other folks.
Yep, that is cool. And I mean, all we do is try to put people together, just like you said, putting people together to make good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We try to make sure that people know who each other are. If they want to reach out to each other, if they want to get things done together, they do it. We've had
Yep.
a lot of collaborations out there that have come out of the madness. I just, I love that. I love it.
No, it's always nice when like I've said for a long time, when I would do things with like courseware or teaching different things, people be like, why do you do that part of it? Be like, well, I do this stuff because I enjoy it, and I'm getting older, and I don't want to be in my 80s and look around going, why aren't there any good books, any good new books or good new stories for me to get into? And my attitude is like, well, when I was younger, I said, I can't find the stuff that I want to read. I better make it. And now I'm just like, I'm making it. But if I want it to be there when I'm older and maybe I slow down a little bit on the making it part, I better teach other people to make it. Give them opportunities and help them, get going. So that's kind of a neat, fun place to be.
Exactly. And hopefully someday the same thing will happen over here, that people start, making money for their shows, and that, what I'm doing. Because look, I look at people that do shows, and sometimes I see what I consider to be real talent in a show host.
I see that.
And I want to bring them to the network, right? And it's kind of the same thing. I want to bring you in here. I want to help you get seen. Want you to grow. Want you to go to Roku with us. Be all that, And maybe maybe your show will blow up.
Mm.
That's me wanting. I mean, look, I want success for everybody. Until they fuck with me.
Oh yeah.
I want success for everybody, right? To have a fan base that buys books, not just goes out online talking about them, but actually buys them too. I want people to enjoy art. These amazing artists, because look, Les ain't the only one in the network. There are a bunch of them that are really, really good. Les just happens to draw the style I love the most, which gives him a little boost up. It's not nothing, it's not nothing but just my personal preference. And people have to remember that's one of the main things about art. Comic style, all that. Everybody has the things that draw their eye, the things that they like. They're not wrong for liking something. Y'all need to stop that shit.
Yeah.
People
get weird about stuff sometimes.
You can like art. You can like art. It's okay. I mean, there's a lot of art that I love, and I kind of ignore who did it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
what can you say? That's that, and that goes way back into history too. There's a lot of art that was really cool, but done by people I would probably have hung out with. I'd
Oh
hang
yeah.
out with Les. You see, I'd hang out with Les. You see,
Because I'm new.
but yeah, Les is definitely. I mean, art is definitely subjective. Some people are gonna like something, some people aren't. That's always gonna be. But there's no reason to go out and vocalize dislike for everything all the time, man. Y'all doing that always have to be so negative. Talk about the things you love.
Unless it's Rob Liefeld. You're totally cool to go out and trash talk Rob Liefeld all day long.
Well, I mean, I got people I could say, yeah, it's okay to do that, but I don't need to do that. They catching enough shit for who they are already.
Yeah, I'm just joking. I got no problem with Rob Liefeld. Except for speed.
And you know, I'm sort of joking. No, man, it's like there's some people that are really easy to promote. There's some people that are really hard to promote. You know what I mean? It's just like, you know, in everything, there's going to be people that are easy to work with and people that are hard to work with.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
That's the thing. God, do I know how that's a thing.
I mean, I love to promote good comics and stuff. You know, hey, you want my help getting your thing seen? I'm that's kind of what I do. It's kind of what I do. Man, I'm gonna have fun this weekend, though. Tell you what, we're definitely gonna have fun this weekend.
Very cool. Very cool. I can dig that.
Of course, you know, UPS could be really helpful and get them boxes here really fast.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I hate dealing with UPS.
Dude, I hate dealing with any of them, but I mean, our whole booth setup. I got most all the tech. I could run the show, but our booth setup.
Yeah, it's always fun how like there's the thing that you go for, that you go to do. You know, if you're doing it, it's for show. For me, it's doing art, and doing conventions is like the thing you're actually there for is not what you're going to do most of the time. It's not going to be what most of your attention gets put into, because there's going to be all this other garbage that has to be dealt with. At least that's my experience.
Saturday is going to be weird because I'm going to be running the show, right, just like I am right now. Only I'm going to be on screen and I'm going to be live, and the screen is going to be in the booth. We got a big screen that's going to be in the booth, and the people walking by are going to see me doing the show.
Oh, that's cool.
You see? So then
I'll probably bring some viewers along.
Well, see, but then at 12:30, Ed's show is on. So then I get up off of the actual stream. I play Ed's show. You see what I'm saying? And then I can run my table, talk to people. You know, I'll talk to people while I'm doing show too. I don't care. You know what I mean? I mean, that's the whole point. Interact with the people walking by. So when I'm live at the table, I'm gonna be, hey, what do you got in that bag right there? Come show us what you bought. You know, I'm gonna be like interacting with the people.
Oh yeah.
And then Sunday at 11 a.m., of course, we always do Comics Across the Pond. Well, Dave and I taped that last night, so I can just play it on Sunday morning, and I can run the table. You see. The rest of the shows are other people's shows. I don't have to be involved in them. I just have to make sure they're running.
Oh, yeah.
You see? So I pop in, you know, like right before Dave brings show, I, you know, make sure that it's going to Build, it's going to Rumble, it's going all the places. And Dave starts the show himself and runs his own show. I don't have to do anything. I just make sure it goes where it's supposed to go. Right? So for the most part, I get to just run shows that are already scheduled that people already do, and I get to run the tape. In between those shows, I might go live and talk to people that are on the floor and do interviews and shit like that in between the regular show. And if it goes smoothly, if I can pull this off, dude, then doing it with extra, like people there to help me or people there sharing the booth with me, it'll be even that much easier with anybody there to help, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm pretty sure my grandson's going to be there with me on Sunday. Saturday, I'm going to be doing it by myself. It's going to be the first time I'm doing it, and I expect there's going to be hiccups.
Oh, of course.
I'm not going to trip, even if we have to record all the live segments because we don't have Wi-Fi or whatever. I'm not going to trip. I'm just going to do it, and then we'll play it all later. You know what I mean? I can't let whatever hiccups get in the way bother me. I have to put on a good live show.
See, my general rule is when you expect hiccups, be prepared for vomit. When you expect vomit, be prepared for a coma.
Well, I expect perfection, so I'm going to get hiccups. No, I mean, the way I have it planned out, I don't see it being much different than sitting here. If I was sitting here in the chair all weekend and did a live segment in between every show.
Sounds
you
about
see what
right.
I'm saying? That's all it would. That's all it's going to be. It's just me doing a live show in between every scheduled show.
I see that.
So
that
tech-wise, it shouldn't be an issue. I should be able to pull this off. It all depends on how good the Wi-Fi is. Let's be honest. You see what I'm saying? So
oh yeah,
I have a Wi-Fi antenna coming in that box. But if that box don't get here in time, we might be recording the whole show. You know what I mean? You see what I mean? It's like a lot of it depends on that one little thing. How good's our Wi-Fi? Because if I got good Wi-Fi, I'm not gonna have no problem doing this. I might 5 minutes between shows to set them up, whether it be another live stream or that I'm doing myself or setting up the next scheduled show. That takes 5 minutes in between shows, 10 minutes tops. So I mean, hey, if somebody walks up to the table while I'm setting up the next show, I'll just be like, hey, check out that stuff we got. I'll be right with you. And I'll set up show. I'm not tripping. Then I got to, be me and interact with people and do the thing. But that little bit of tech right there, like on Sunday when my grandson's there with me, no problem. I won't be under any stress to hurry up and get it done.
That's cool.
But
I always hate the stress of that stuff.
That's just it. If there's somebody at the table asking questions while I'm trying to set up the next show, that's going to be the only rub I'm going to have on Saturday, right? Because I'm either going to have to stop what I'm doing and talk to that person, or I'm going to have to ask that person to be patient with me for a couple minutes.
Yep, well, there's nothing wrong with that.
That'll be the only thing. On Sunday, it'll be like, Isaac, talk to these people. I'll be right with you, but my grandson pretty much knows all of me. Go ahead. And I'll set up my show.
Let's see.
The funny part is sometimes I'll be able to say, hang with me for a minute, and you'll be live on the show. Hold on. Because if I'm setting up the next live segment, we're about to go live right here on the floor. It's going to be fun, man. I'm going to have fun either way. You know me. I pretty much, we kind of did this once in South Carolina. But we didn't have, it was years ago, and we, had no idea what we were doing. But me and Doc ran a show from a con. But we didn't run any scheduled anything. We didn't have scheduled weekly shows back then. We just went live all day from the conference. And we talked to people walking by, and it was fun. We had a good time. But this is going to be different. This is going to be a madness and an event. Go have fun, people.
Let's see. Sorry, there's like certain types of lines and things that I have to like stop and concentrate on.
Oh, I know. I've been here with you.
1, 2, 3. Oh crap! Oh. Once I get all these hold lines done, which folks have heard me say that and they're not quite grasping what that is. A hold line is the line that holds the entire shape. It tends to be outlines, but most of the time when I'm working on hold lines, I'm doing that to areas based on my judgment of like what it contains and what needs to hold something. How's that need to be held together? And then I've got a little trick that I'm going to pull here in a second once I get my hold lines done. Oh. There we go. Yeah. A bit of fun with some of this. Doink, 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 doink. Mm-mm-mm. Pardon me.
She just keeps looking prettier and prettier.
All right.
Tell me you wouldn't want to hug that.
Yeah. There's that. This in here. It's funny because doing this actually relaxes me. So it's like, well, I got to get my work done, and my work is putting me to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Swing it on around here. I like making sure that I have these shapes closed off. There's nifty stuff that can be done with that. Good Lord. The weekend's definitely caught up with me.
Oh, man.
Getting old.
Yeah, I'm still a day behind from the. I should be caught up tonight. And I went through pricing a bunch of comic books.
Mm-mm-mm.
Because, you know, sometimes people send me more than one of something, so that I got something to put on the table.
Yeah.
And so indie comics are really hard to price.
Yeah, definitely.
Because there's no comic book guide for indie comics, you know.
Yeah. There used to be. They used to include us.
You can find the old indie comics, like Freak Brothers and stuff. You can find pricing on that. But new indie comics, there's nobody building a database and keeping up with it.
Uh-huh.
Of just indie comics. You know, it's something somebody could probably make a killing by.
Mm.
You know,
Now,
all indie price guide or some shit like that. You know,
mm-hmm.
Here I am giving away ideas because I just ain't got time for that shit.
Mm.
Just entering my own comics into a database was work, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And especially if they're indie, because you got to take the pictures, you got to like submit it to the site. Hey man, I just picked this up. It's not in your database. This is what I paid for it. Blah 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 blah. And then you hope that they accept the submission of the indie comic and put it in their database so that you can log in that you own it and add it to your database. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I used to do stuff and stash my comics all the time. It got to the point where I was working for them. I'm submitting stuff to their database all the time, and I'm not getting paid. I ain't getting nothing for this. Fuck this. I quit.
Yep.
Like now it's getting a little ridiculous because all I was wanting at the time was indie comics. And all I wanted was them to be listed in the database. Yeah, I used to do that for people, try to get their stuff listed in stashmycomics.com. I used to do that too. But that was work. Nobody was there was no reward for it or anything really that I can remember.
Mm. Oh.
But I do have like 7,000 comics listed in my Stash My Comics database.
Oh, turn the air conditioner on. It's finally starting to get a little warm in here. Been enjoying a pretty mild season so far.
Oh, it's warm outside the last few days here. Like warm.
Hasn't been real bad here yet.
It didn't happen until late May, but summer's arrived.
All right. So I'm going to do something kind of neat with this. Something that is you know, I don't know how unique it is to Clip Studio, but that's where I work, so that's what I'm going to talk about. So I'm going to make a selection around all of this.
Chris said, looks good.
I'll make a selection around all that and use an advanced fill to fill it with white. Then I'm going to come back with my paint bucket and clear pixels and tap on that outside, so that's going to open back up. I'm going to go through and look for places that I want it to open up in. And there we go. Just clicking through there. Now, the neat thing about what I'm about to do with this is I'm not going to have to worry about going outside my lines here at all, because I'm going to start a new layer. I'm going to make it a clip layer, but then this layer right here, so now I can't see into my drawing hardly because of all the white. Well, if I set that to multiply, I still see the drawing. And now when I draw in this layer right here, I'll take a pen. Watch what I'm going to start from like the upper left-hand corner here and just scribble. See how that's locked in there? It doesn't allow any pixels outside of that.
Right.
So then this, if I want to do that real Bernie Wrightson style rough inking on this, then I've got a pen here that I'm going to come in here with. Now that I have this clip set up, a pen that I've made called Rough Pen that is designed specifically to emulate certain qualities of Bernie's brush strokes and pen strokes. And I've been using this a lot more liberally lately.
And Carrie just popped over into Pill and said, great art, Les.
Thank you. So right now I'm kind of defining the plane that this arm is on. And so even though these hatch lines aren't going in the direction of that plane, I'm going to keep them all going in the same direction, because it'll reinforce to the eyes the unity of all that.
And Houston, Texas, Dave is in the chat. Hello from Texas, he said.
Howdy, y'all.
Oh, geez, Carrie, really? She said, is this horror or horror? Bless.
Oh, God, that joke again.
She just loves us. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
She just loves us. She is like the #1 fan of all things madness, though. Yeah, you know, smacks everything. She promotes everybody's stuff, does fan art, everything. You know. Oh, jeez. It must be past 2 o'clock, huh?
It's pretty close, ain't it? Get that time for my old man nap.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was a big one. We have been over an hour. You might want to go ahead and
Well, that's right there is actually what I was trying to get to be able to show is that one method digitally of getting some of that line based tone work that I love from guys like Bernie and Bernie Wrights and then Tim Bradstreet and guys like that. This is just one of a bunch of different ways. I've also started using halftones on things, and it's just wild. It's so much fun doing that stuff. So I'm probably going to do some black and white comics soon because I love them. I've always liked black and white comics. I've always liked black and white horror comics. So anyway, that's a little look into some of that. So I think I am going to call it and go for a little walk, try to wake myself up so I can finish my work for the rest of the day. But thanks, folks, for hanging out and sticking around while I'm doing my crazy doodles. So, what was this? Episode number 102?
Yeah. Two more, and you'll have a full 2 years.
Yep, 2 years.
And actually, I think there's only been 2 times that you couldn't do a show, so this would be probably the 2-year mark.
Yep. Something like that. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
There has not been very many times when you couldn't do a show. I know that. So, you've been with us for 2 years. I know that for sure.
Yep.
Definitely. Oh, yeah. Dave likes it. He said, horror noir. Horror noir. That's
horror. Horror. What?
That's for you, Carrie. Horror. And with that, I'm going to play a couple of, we're going to play ads on the way out of this one. I got 3 that Les is involved in and a couple other ones that I'm going to play. And then we, see what, have to watch, but they're cool. You should.
Yep. Stick around and watch them.
Yeah. Especially
more importantly, go to Kickstarter and back them.
Yeah.
Back them. Back them.
Remember, some of these Les did the actual animation for. He's working on the book, so go check them out, guys. Especially
animation for them, music for them. God only knows what all I've done on them. At this point, it's just like, okay, all right, here we are.
Here's the trailer for Oz 3, though. Are you ready for that?
Evening, darlings. It's about time to start this show. Get on out of here. That's my set. My name's Belladonna Lamort, and I'm just hopping on screen to tell you, if y'all ain't checked out the Gasp Horror Anthology from Resolute Bliss, then y'all about as silly as that dusty old bag of bones. So what you waiting for? Head on over and sign up at Kickstarter now.
Presented by Resolute Bliss with our friends at Live Storm Chasers, because real storms inspire the darkest of legends.
This storm's trying to take us back. Back to Gear City? Not again. Run! Here it comes. There she is. It's the witch. She sure knows how to make an entrance.
I do hope you will join me. Not Oz like you've known. Welcome to my corner of Oz. A place called Gear City. Back Gear City, a tale from the broken world of Oz. Coming soon to Kickstarter from Resolute Bliss Publishing.
Dr. Mall? Yeah, this is Detective Marcus Fulton with Kinnixon County Sheriff's Department, and I have a case I need your help with.
How many bodies?
2. Both ritual killings, both males, no obvious connection.
Are you a hunter, Mr. Fulton?
As much as I can be.
Good. So we're about to hunt the most elusive apex predator there is.
Well, then you better get a good night's sleep. I'll see you tomorrow.
Some killers, they want to be found. Some want to be caught. They want to see their own headlines. This man is not interested in any of that. He's on a mission. He's not going to stop. He's not going to make any mistakes.
There's a reason the Reds is where it is. Hell, even the local tribes haven't been up there in 200 years. They say even the land is evil.
I don't believe in that kind of evil.
Maybe you should.
It's a place to celebrate heroes that have passed. A place to remember great deeds and past battles. And the place where evil now waits to strike. Galaxy Memorial Park, Volume 2. Crowdfunding on fundmycomic.com.
If you missed the live viewing of any Meg production, you can find all our content on Roku or as a member of this channel. Madness Entertainment Group.